Christmas is just 13 days away if you're watching this video on the day it was published, or even less if you're watching it later. And now is the time to get those holiday cards done if you haven't yet already. In this video, I'm sharing a very simple, easy to make, yet classy and stunning Christmas card idea that involves just a little bit of stamping, some heat embossing, and ink blending. Very doable card and easy to mass produce if you happen to need a bunch of last minute Christmas cards. Hi everyone, I'm Yana Smakula and I'm hoping you will love this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Ring the bell too to be notified of every new upload on my channel. I'm using a handful of supplies today. One of them is this beautiful Comfort and Joy clear stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. I will be using the Joy to the World sentiment and an image of a Christmas present. So simple imagery, but large enough to take center stage on our card. Also large enough so that we won't need to add much else to the project. And when you are in a hurry, you kind of want to get these cards done as soon as you can. So if you don't have this exact stamp set, look through your stash for a large sentiment and also a simple outline image that goes well with a holiday theme. I've pre-planned everything for this video, and here I have my stamps mounted on the door of my Misty tool to help me speed up my stamping. I'm also using both Misty and the stamp platform as I'm stamping two things today, this sentiment and gift image, and later a background for the card. Now, if you are mass producing cards, having these stamps mounted on your stamping tools and ready to go is a huge time saver. I'm working on dark blue cardstock as A, I happen to love this color, and B, I want to create a night sky type of look. Of course, feel free to change up the colors to those that you like best. I've treated my paper with an anti-static powder tool, and this is an essential step as this card for the most part is going to feature heat embossing, and using an anti-static powder tool helps you get the best clean results. Next, I'm using my Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink. I'm inking up my stamps and stamping on the panel. Now, I love the look of gold on blue, so I'm using gold embossing powder here. Another idea would be to use silver or even platinum embossing powder colors to change it up a little bit. I'm going to quickly heat set this with my heat tool before I move to the next step. Now, if you want, you can do some paper piecing here and replace the gift image, or rather cover the gift image with an identical one, but done on different color of paper. Here I have this red gift that I made by gold heat embossing the same image on red cardstock and cutting it out using scissors. This would save you the trouble of doing any coloring and would potentially save you time if you were looking to color it. I didn't feel like my card needed that pop of red, so I opted not to use it. To create a background, I want it to look like if there's snow falling on the card. I'm using another stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. This is Falling Snow Cling Background Stamp. And here I'm going to do the exact same thing. Ink it up with clear embossing ink and stamp on the background. I've positioned the stamp so that I have the dots clustered together more densely at the top of my panel and less densely at the bottom to really look like as if the snow is falling. To heat emboss these, I am, however, going to use a different color of embossing powder. This is Steel Navy from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm pouring it onto my panel, avoiding the sentiment and gift area. Now, I'm not one for masking, and if I can skip doing masking, I will. So here, I skipped masking, and instead I'm going to use a dry paintbrush to just brush away any embossing powder that overlaps the gold heat embossing. The next step is, once again, to heat emboss our embossing powder in place. Just a note, I am working on a sheet of cardstock that is cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and this is not a card base. When I'm done making this panel, I will adhere it onto a card base. That's the way I prefer to work, even when I'm making one-layer cards like this one. I like to work on a separate panel and then adhere that panel onto an A2 card, or another card, whatever the size might be. At this point, you can call your project done and just adhere it onto a card base, or you can step it up a little bit by doing some ombre ink blending at the top to darken that top edge a little bit. To do this, I'm using navy and black inks and my ink blending tools. First, I'm going to ink blend some deep blue over this panel, and next add just a hint of black at the very top. Ink blending on colored cardstock saves you loads of time as you already have that base color in place and you just need to add your medium and darkest color. Another way to step this card design up is by embellishing it with jewels. Here I used clear jewels from Pretty Pink Posh and adhered them over some of the snow dots in the background. Right now they look white as the glue isn't yet dry, but once it dries, they will look like clear dimensional jewels on the card. I hope you'll give this idea a try using these or other stamps from your stash. If you do, remember to share online and tag us on social media. We always love seeing what you guys are making. On the screen, there is a link to a playlist with all of my videos featuring Simon Says stamps. Subscribe now not to miss any new card making tutorials. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.